And Abu Dhabi, according to the contract, is going to be $250 million. Okay, $1 billion, billion for baby, just for having a franchise of these.
I've arrived in Abu Dhabi for a day trip in the capital of the United Arab Emirates. We just stopped off for some of the group to have a toilet break, and so we can take a look at the new Abu Dhabi Louvre. Yeah, just like the Parisian museum, the famous Parisian museum. Abu Dhabi paid over $1 billion for the franchise rights to call this the Louvre. Yeah, Abu Dhabi has money to spare. It's one of the richest capitals in the world, much richer than Dubai, which is part of the reason the governor of Abu Dhabi will always be the president of the United Arab Emirates. Abu Dhabi, of course, is the political and economic seat. It's the capital city of the 7 Emirates. You see, everyone thinks of Dubai as where all the wealth comes from because it's more famous for tourism, but really all the oil money comes from here in Abu Dhabi, and you'll see just how much money they spend. In fact, during the economic recession of the early 21st century, Dubai was in a lot of debt to the banks, and Abu Dhabi bailed them out, $300 billion. And you know what, if I'm gonna be brutally honest, why would you spend over $1 billion to name your museum the Louvre and then build that monstrosity? Because I mean, am I the only one? Or does that look like a piece of shit? This, however, these crystal blue waters don't look like shit. These look rather lovely. It's a shame that stands beside them. I could definitely think of better ways to spend billions of US dollars, but then I'm not a rich Emirate oil baron, so my opinion's probably unwarranted. I will never possess such wealth. Today, we will be visiting the presidential palace, of course, the seat of power for the UAE, where the president himself lives. Something about the political system here. It's mostly a monarchy with some elements of democracy. Now, the royal family will always be the governors. They are selected by the Supreme Council, but they will always be a member of the royal family. It will always be a member of the royal blood. Then there are 40 something senators, half of which are elected by citizens only, no foreigners, and foreigners can't get citizenship here. And then half of which will be chosen by the governors. The governor of Dubai, the second biggest economic power in the UAE, will always be the prime minister of the UAE, while the governor of Abu Dhabi will always be the president. I think it sums up the UAE, really, doesn't it? Money is wealth. I mean, that's everywhere in the world, but yeah, political power is attained by just how much money you contribute, because essentially each has their own economy, but then they have to contribute to the coffers of the country all in all. And Abu Dhabi obviously contributes the vast majority of it, with Dubai being a close second. So that's why Abu Dhabi has the most power, Dubai has the second most power. It's a scorching hot day, but it's a lot less humid than in Dubai. I feel that it's a lot more bearable. The sun is actually rather pleasant. In Dubai, it just feels like you're walking around in 40 degrees while someone's blowing a hairdryer into your face. Here it's like being in Spain during peak weather.
Oh, baby. Okay, let's go now. No one's gonna take.
On our trip, we will also be visiting the 4th largest mosque in the world, the 2nd largest accessible to tourists and people who are of Muslim faith, making pilgrimage. We'll also be visiting the Emirate Towers, which were apparently featured in the big set piece in one of the Fast and Furious movies. I'm not a fan, so I'll have to check that out on YouTube.
Time to unleash the beast.
Don't fly! Mars don't fly!
Yeah, once we get it.
Hi, good morning. Here we are at the visitor centre. Once we've got our tickets and we're through the other side, we will be then taken on a bus through the gardens into the presidential palace. Our tour guide is not able to accompany us, we just have free time to explore, as apparently it's not permitted for tour guides to give tours and explain things. You've just got to go yourself and enjoy it and have a look. Maybe that's because they don't want them to offer any opinions or anything like that. Interesting. But I'm sure it'll be beautiful to see. I mean, just look at the visitor centre. It's like an opulent hotel. Casa Al Watan, that's the name. And this is the layout of this opulent palace. Onto the bus. What would you say is wrong with it?
One every 20 minutes to start with, that's nothing for such a heavily weight population.
Yeah, I guess.
Needs more. It was like in the movies of Indian trains yesterday in the rush hour twice, 3 times.
Incredible. Look at this. And this is just the entrance to the palace. Opulent isn't even the word for it. Insane. This is how it looks from the outside. I can just imagine how palatial and grand it's gonna look when we make our way through those doors.
Yeah. Open sesame. Yeah, sesame opens. I think it's. Yeah.
I thought it's automatic.
Jesus.
11:30. Sorry, 11.
This is where members of the delegation would sit. Not dressed like a member of a delegation, am I? Okay, so that wasn't for delegations, that was actually where journalists were invited for press conferences and whatnot. Not really the most spectacular room in the hall, so I'm not going to spend much more time in there, but look at this. Oh my god. Have you ever seen anything like it? I mean, maybe you have if you've been here. The scale, I don't think is being truly captured on camera. This is massive. It's so big that I just don't really know where to go. I mean, there's stuff to see over here, this way. I think we can carry on at the end, and there's a gift shop, of course. Where do I even begin? We have about half an hour before we leave for the towers. Let's just take a look. Presidential gifts, presidential banquet, spirit of collaboration. Let's go and check these ones out. It's all very uniform in design. So like, the wow factor loses its edge after about a minute of being in here, I guess. I feel like I've kind of seen everything. Let's just see what's in this room. This one, of course, is the founder, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. I probably butchered that, but he's the guy who founded the UAE. And then here, we have Sheikh Khalifa. Now, as I was saying earlier, when Abu Dhabi bailed Dubai out of $300 billion worth of debt, well, the Burj Khalifa, which was originally going to be called the Burj Dubai, which would just mean Dubai Tower, was renamed to Burj Khalifa as a token of gratitude to the late Sheikh, who died in 2022. And well, was then replaced promptly with the current big. Ooh, there's a bit of light obscuring his face. This guy here. And then, of course, the Vice President, who, funnily enough, is a face I recognise a lot more. You seem to see a lot more of him. Check out these. When you're a killer but you want to look bourgeois, you do it. Some collection. Probably priceless, the majority of these. Medals gifted by various nations around the world. Everything from France to Kazakhstan and Senegal, Lebanon, Spain, Bahrain, Serbia. Various rather pretty copies of the Holy Quran. Uzbek, Kazakh, and samurai armour. I don't need to explain where that one's from, I'm sure. What's through here? There's no one else around. Are we allowed? It's all closed. Not supposed to enter this wing, I suppose. Although we're allowed through the main doors. Where? Prayer rooms. So you can get into the prayer rooms, should you need to. Hi. Oh, we can go through here? Oh, okay.
One of the biggest secretary in the world.
Wow, thank you. You're allowed. I was invited in. Wow. Sorry, what did you say that room was again?
Okay, this is the summit room.
Okay.
Okay, actually this room designed for the GCC country meeting, but it has never been used.
Ah.
In the GCC country, there are 7 countries, Gulf countries: Saudi, Qatar, so UAE, Oman, Kuwait.
Wow.
There are 6 or 7 countries.
Excellent. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Okay.
And this is the presidential banquet room. This is where close allies and neighbouring countries would be invited for a banquet with the president and all his council. Imagine the manner of food that they eat here. Michelin quality chefs, no doubt. I would imagine even they would have Michelin starred chefs come as guest cooks. Now, working in the service industry is already quite a stressful and high pressure job. But imagine serving the President of the United Arab Emirates, his governors, and then presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens from other countries around the world. You wouldn't want to make a single mistake, would you? What's inside here? The mirrors of reflection. The key colours of the palace are white, blue and yellow, reflecting the richness of the region's landscape. Marble in subtle tones of white, brown, ochre. Ah. Interesting. Then we're in another one of these little art installations, this one called the Spectrum of Patterns. Coloured glass in this art installation using filter lights to enhance the patterns. How do we see this one? Because it doesn't have a little window in. I'm not sure. Ah, it's here. It's literally these. Very basic, but it's kind of cool though how You can see from the inside it's like windows with filter lights on them, and on the outside it looks as though it's made of reflective steel or something. And of course, a little photo opportunity thing. Professional photographers, for people to take pictures in this, whatever it is. Not entirely sure. It's got it here in Arabic. And here we have the official meeting room, where statesmen and foreign dignitaries host official diplomatic meetings. Of course, right in the centre would be where the President, and I'd assume the Prime Minister or the Vice President, would take their seats, and the dignitaries and statesmen right here. And just in case you're a dignitary who makes the embarrassing mistake of forgetting who the President is, well, they've very conveniently put a painting of him behind to identify. The Casa Alvatan Library, which I believe was opened in 1981, has obviously undergone a lot of renovation since then, as it looks strikingly modern. And of course, dome with a chandelier. Apparently, all these books are travel logs written through the ages. Essentially, this is dedicated, this library, to travel and how it can enrich your mind. Fitting. Just 10 minutes to go. Time's really flown. I can't believe we've been here nearly half an hour already. We've still got the House of Knowledge to see. Depending on how big that is, it might take up the rest of my time, or I might have time to just admire the beauty again for another few minutes. My impressions of this place, well, I mean, it's hard to deny its magnificent beauty. But at what cost? You know, the wealth accumulated by the United Arab Emirates is largely immoral. Although I suppose Abu Dhabi, they're only exporting their own oil. Dubai is the Emirate, I would say, with the shadier road to riches. The House of Knowledge. Another room that's effectively an exhibition. This one. With old maps and books of culture and language. Here, the commentaries of the great Alfonso de Albuquerque, Portuguese military general. So much of this written by the colonizers of the world. The texts and maps in here are from maritime trade and warfare and exploration, which I suppose is symbolic to Arabia being some of the earliest seafarers known to man, which history shows. You know, some of the earliest maritime trade and seafaring occurred in the Arabian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, the Persian Gulf. I think I can't quite put my finger on though. It feels perhaps somewhat hollow, which makes it a perfect microcosm. A bit big for a microcosm. But yeah, effectively the perfect microcosm for the United Arab Emirates in general. It's very fancy, very opulent, very decadent, very look at me. There's not much beneath it. There's not real human culture behind it. It's just nouveau riches flaunting their wealth in the face of the world. But it's definitely worth seeing, of course. I mean, I was taken aback by it. How can you not be? How can you not be? Now we come to the exit, which of course is a gift shop. Even at the presidential palace of the United Arab Emirates, you must exit at the gift shop. Now what can we get? Pillows, clothes, phone cases. You know what, those phone case prices aren't too bad actually, 35. Not that I'd want it, but oh no, these aren't phone cases, these are tins, tobacco tins. Cufflinks maybe? Oh no. That's interesting. Action coloured. Oh, okay. I was pictures quality is so expensive as well. These are 449. That's like £100. Anyway, let's go. Now we're in the Palace Gardens. The weather is scorching hot. It's got to be pushing 40, but I'm really enjoying it. I would hate to be a construction worker anywhere in the United Arab Emirates because this weather is consistent year round. Imagine labouring. Wouldn't be very pleasant. So we're here at the Etihad Towers. I said Emirates earlier, my bad. I think that's in Dubai. We're at the Etihad Towers, where there is the observation deck, 300 feet or meters in the sky. Portrait of that man, which you'll find in many hotels, is the founder of the United Arab Emirates. We also saw his portrait at the palace just now. So this was like a 2-minute drive. It's literally on the same sort of boulevard, I guess, as the presidential palace. I made it 74 floors in a rapid elevator. Wow. See this hotel, it looks almost like the Atlantis in Palm, but it's obviously not. It's the almost identical design. But I think this one may be built after. Not too sure. But geez. It's not quite as high as the Burj Khalifa, but it's pretty high. Here you can see one of the famous hotels, and then the presidential palace is over there. Look how big it is, even from this height, it looks massive. And then the less pretty side. Just an island of sand. And tell you one thing though, I'm dying for a beer. Still haven't drank since Friday night on the plane to Dubai. That might be a record for me in a great number of years, as shameful as that is to admit. It feels weird. And in temperatures like these, you just really want a cold beer. And I'm probably in the worst place in the world to get a beer. That is, not the worst place in the world. It's beautiful, of course, but...
The prayers. I'm talking about here for sure that in all times, and even that in all times all the buildings they were just 1 floor or 2 floors.
So we're heading to the mall adjacent to the mosque. Something to eat first. It's of course the mosque. It's a shopping mall. Apparently there's a Michelin restaurant here in the mall. Our tour guide's going to show us. Most people probably shoot off to McDonald's or something, but you know what? I might eat at this place.
I don't even care about it. I mean, I do, but...
So this is the Al Khaimah Heritage Restaurant. I've heard about it. The tour guide said it was a Michelin star, but it's got a Bib Gourmand in the Michelin Guide, which is still good enough. I'm going to try some good local Bedouin food. Hello. To start, nice big plain hummus with some, what I presume is freshly baked breads. Very nice. So let's get stuck in. The bread is freshly baked because it's still really warm. Get a nice bit of that. It's kind of hard to get. I thought it'd be a lot softer than that. I suppose you push it into the well a bit, don't you? And like, how is it?
Go ahead. I didn't want to ruin your shot.
Real good.
Am I gonna be alright?
It's good hummus. When you mix it with the oil, it gets it's a great flavour. The oil is like, that's got to be good quality olive oil. If you go to like a cheap UK Middle Eastern restaurant, they're using the crappy supermarket oils. It has no flavour. It just makes the hummus wet. But this, you can taste the olive oil. It's indicative of good quality. The bread, nice. Not too thick, but doughy enough to be substantial. But then it's still like light and fluffy. It's got the crispy edges. Improve the hummus. Check out this feast that's just arrived. Portion of rice each. A kingfish malagat, which looks absolutely phenomenal. This insane amount of lamb, Bedouin lamb, with more bread. And he was going to offer us some more bread anyway. And more hummus. We ordered hummus and bread, and now he's getting extra with all that lamb. And yeah, so what a feast. Also some dips to put on the rice. Well, some sauces to pour on the rice. Some spicy one and some yogurt. Wow. He did warn us that if we were going to get 2 hummus, that it would be too much, and now I understand why. That's insane. So, let's crack on and get some of this kingfish. I'm just going to eat it over the rice dish. Get a bit of that. Oh, that fish is tender and flaky. And absolutely drenched in sauce. Just how I like it. Get plenty of that sauce on. Get chili. Sprinkle some more of that sauce. And then let's pour a little bit of this on the rice. And I'm just going to get a bit of the fish. Taste that fish with a bit of the rice. Oh yeah. Fish is just so tender and flaky. It's taken in the flavour of the sauce. The sauce, tangy tomato, almost like a Middle Eastern salsa flavour. Not too spicy, just kind of almost reminds me of Turkish. Sort of like with the Ishmael kebab. Get a bit of the chili with the rice. Chili comes with a good kick. I like that. The portion sizes, unbelievably generous. You want to try some fish?
Maybe later, but thank you, I might.
Still had a bit of bread from the hummus. Bit of raw onion. That's one hell of a bite. Try some of this lamb. It looks good, looks really juicy. Apparently it's tender, let's find out. Oh my god. No resistance needed. Just sink your teeth in and it pulls apart. Quite nicely marinated as well, it's got a good flavour to it. Man, what can I say? Arabs, they know what to do when it comes to lamb. It's like we're in an airport terminal. Just been through security, the scanners, dropping off my bag, getting it searched. Through the ticket barriers. Now conveyor belt. It's like Manchester Airport, except a little bit more religious. The electric staircase to the mosque. Here we are. After endless escalators and conveyor belts, we've made it.
And to make it relaxing, okay for you, let's say that sorry.
The Grand Mosque has a very particular and quite funny rule. Although you are free to talk and you are free to take videos, you are not permitted to do both at the same time. Basically, I could film to my heart's content, but I could not give any live commentary or make any poses on camera. Hence, this voiceover. This impressive mosque was built between 1994, 2 years before I was born, and 2007, the year I started secondary school, when it was officially opened and was intended as a marriage of Islamic celebration and of modern art and architecture, a theme prevalent in this city and one quite well conveyed in this landmark, in my opinion. Some features, such as the rather phallic looking and colourful chandeliers inside the main building, are a little bit tacky in my eyes, but the vast majority of this building, including those stunning carpets, are really quite beautiful. And of course, a gift shop to finish the experience, as there always is. Came across these I've never seen before. Camel Delights. Dates covered in chocolate. Sure they're delicious, but they cost 41 AED. It's almost the price of what I paid for dinner, so I don't think I will.